curious. I am Renee Garcia, and this is TransurfingTV, and this is my talk on the soul fraile. So the other day, Dee Dee and I, one of the transurfing instructors with ITI, we were translating some material into Arabic, and the term soul fraile came up. And she asked me for sort of my broad definition of soul fraile. And I said that it's kind of like the blueprint of your soul, or maybe the thumbprint of your soul. And then after our work together, I started thinking about it a little bit more, and I thought, this is interesting that sort of this is where we aspire to get to as transurfers, right? That we're plugged into our soul fraile, that we're living that most authentic version of ourselves, and we're reaping the benefits of being, one with our soul fraile, but we don't really talk about it too much. So I'd like to open this up for conversation on the Facebook group and really dive into ways that we can get more in touch with our soul fraile and what sort of sensations and rewards we gain from our external environment that is in line with our soul fraile. So that brings me to a statement in the book that Vadim makes that I absolutely love. He says that your fraile frequency matches with a corresponding frequency in the alternative space, and this is when apples fall to the sky. This is a fascinating statement because really what Vadim is presenting to us here is that if we plug in to our soul fraile, right? If we're living that soul fraile, we are resonating at a frequency that will attach to an external lifeline that is the same frequency. And this is where you live sort of your best life, your highest track, right? Your soul fraile is the apex of your being. This is the pinnacle of your being. And if you can tap into this version of you, you can tap into one of your optimum life tracks. And this is sort of what's happened for me as I have become more in tune with my soul fraile. Things have just gotten better and better and better and better. And when Vadim Zeland says, when apples fall to the sky, right? This means that reality looks very different than what you knew it to be before. And this is very, very, very much the case for me. I never in a million years would have imagined that life would be this good for me, but it is this good for me because I am tapping into my soul fraile. So what is the soul fraile exactly? Well, Vadim says the fraile characterizes the unique and incomparable essence of a person's soul. Okay, so this is your own uniqueness. This is things that your heart and your soul get ignited over. This is heart and mind coordination. This is you living your best version of yourself, allowing yourself to be yourself, loving yourself with all your warts, as Vadim says. So a person living their soul fraile emanates an elusive and indefinable charm. So Vadim states, look for people like this. They're rare, right? Most people are living away from their soul fraile, unfortunately. But in my opinion, what I see happen, and I'll get into this more in a moment of specifically why this happens, but I think what happens is pendulums convince us of certain things. And when we adhere to these opinions or standards of pendulums, they sort of put a layer of programming on us. This is internal and it can be external too. This is somebody that doesn't look vibrant, doesn't look vivacious, doesn't look alive. And this is somebody that's going into work and feeling like, oh man, I don't want to be here, or I don't want to do this, or why is life like this, or just not being their absolute optimal self or living their optimal life. That is via programming layered on our being by pendulums. But first, I'm going to make a few statements about what tuning into your soul frail does do for you externally. So beauty lies in the harmonious connection between heart and soul. You don't have to be super attractive to be beautiful, right? You don't have to have this amazing exterior to emanate charm and beauty and a je ne sais quoi, right? You can do that just by tapping into your soul frail and becoming attractive on a completely different level that's real. It's not just external, right? So if you are overtly self-critical, lack self-love, and live in mental turmoil, you can never radiate the charm of your frail. So this is why, and if you haven't watched my 78 Days of Transurfing, this is why going into some of those concepts and really diving into self-love, stop being critical of yourself, stop getting into pendulum standards and making those your standards, and really just living who you really are without any excuses whatsoever. So how does frail manifest? Frail manifests in a number of ways, but I'm going to tell you how my frail manifests. So my frail manifested by me doing something that I had never done before, that I didn't even really think was an option for me as a person. I lived my life self-centered. I lived my life thinking about me. I lived my life worrying, again, holding on to the standards of pendulums. And once I found transurfing and I realized that I had not tapped in to my soul frail, I knew that it was going to take something external to ignite me. So this came in the form of me doing this, me helping people, me talking to people, me expressing concepts and lessons and doing things that my heart and mind both agree on, and I feel on fire, I feel alive, I feel happy, I feel like I'm giving to my mirror. And this is really, for me, where the soul frail started. And then after that, once I got that sensation, I looked for anything, right? I looked for anything that maybe I didn't really perceive as being available to me in the past. And I just embraced all sorts of new hobbies and pursuits and interests and different things externally that my heart and mind both lit up over. And then I started to look different. I started to feel different. I started to live my soul frail. So again, how does the frail manifest? Hobbies, other pursuits, anything that is done with love and enthusiasm. Vadim says, look for a sign to ignite something within, something that magnetically attracts you. So this is where my 30 Anomalous Action Challenge can put you in touch with your soul frail. Go and every day for 30 days, step out of your comfort zone, start doing something different, and maybe you'll connect with something that'll light up that heart and mind and send you on the path to your soul frail. One of the things that Vadim says in the book is that the mind will search anywhere for treasure except for the heart. Okay, so the mind is constantly searching for new stuff to get excited about and to do and to get involved in, or what the mind thinks you should be involved in, but it doesn't look to the heart, right, for inspiration on what to do. So this is you turning off your mind, turning into your heart, turning into your soul, and you finding the treasures in your reality in that way. So briefly, be cautious of the pendulum standards of beauty, success, abundance, all this stuff. Don't let a pendulum tell you what's up. Let your heart tell you what's up. Let your heart guide your way. Your heart will help you find your way to your soul fraile and not your mind. Remember that it is our high importance levels that keep us attached to pendulums that lock us away from our soul fraile. So a woman sitting looking at, a magazine, a beauty magazine, and feeling depressed because she doesn't look like the women inside the magazine. This is too high of importance levels on a certain standard of beauty that was created by pendulums and not her. So what Vadim says to us is make our own standards, right? Set our own standards. Turn away from the standards of pendulums, but remember that those pendulums hook you via importance levels. So the best way to detach is lower those importance levels, and simply calling it out when you feel a pendulum is trying to convince you of a standard that you should adhere to that doesn't suit you or your soul fraile. The way to unlock your fraile is to love yourself unconditionally. Okay, so again, it all gets back to self-care and self-love, loving yourself with your warts. Stop taking the standards of others. Start feeling beautiful no matter how old you are, no matter what you look like, no matter what the circumstances. You are a beautiful person in some ways, maybe not all the ways, but in some ways. Focus on those ways and throw out everything else. I'm going to leave everyone with this before this video gets too long, but I read this in the book and it is such a beautiful statement. It almost made me cry. Vadim Zeland said to us, there is no need to set out and search for the Holy Grail. The Holy Grail is within. It is the fraile of your soul. Oh my God, isn't that so good? I'm such a sycophant for transurfing. I really love all this stuff so much. But it's so good. We don't have to go searching for anything anymore. You will connect with it, whatever it is you want to have, if you start living from your soul fraile. If you plug in to your special little code of who you are as a person, love yourself unconditionally, turn away from pendulums and their standards, and really just focus on the beauty that is you. This is the soul fraile. So let me know your thoughts, everyone. Questions, comments, likes, and live your authentic self today. Don't make excuses. Don't adhere to other standards. Just go out and be you. Your reality will reward you. Bye, guys.